and I agree with some of her comments. It is a problem of homelessness and the mentally ill, but we do have a problem, and I want to nip it in the bud. And I'd like to express my support for a new city ordinance against loitering. As the chair of the Downtown Findlay Improvement District and downtown property owner of the Sherman House and many rentals on West Crawford, West Front, Southwest, and Washington Street, I would like to address the loitering in Findlay, especially on Broadway near the Movement Church parking lot, across the street beside the library on West Front, and beside the Corey Street Bridge. Imagine standing at your kitchen window and seeing one or several people across the street all day long with no purpose. Imagine being a parent whose child's going to be a student at University of Findlay and you're searching for an apartment, but you see homeless people hanging around the area. Imagine that you have just been hired to work in Findlay, and through research, you have been told to not live in certain areas because there are homeless people who have been known to stay all day long near the apartments. The homeless leave trash, including drug paraphernalia and beer cans, and smoke marijuana that gets into the vents and permeates the interior of the building. This summer, we have a new phenomenon of 1 to a dozen people hanging out on Broadway at any point of the day. Next to the Corey Street Bridge, there's often 1 to 4 people there every day. Besides the issues I just mentioned, people have been driving up to the groups, which looks like possible drug activity. People are not comfortable, and our businesses are being affected. There's a music school for mothers with small children who walk past the loiterers. Anyone going into the library, adults and children, see the people hanging out on the street. Several business owners have complained of the trash in the pedestrian alley and on Broadway. One business owner had to change out his flower pots because someone put a needle in one. If prospective tenants look at my apartments and see people living on the streets during the day near my rentals, they will not want to rent from me. I own the property across from the Corey Street Bridge, and I do not think it is nice for my tenants to have to witness this. Businesses can post no loitering signs. I want the city of Findlay to have a loitering policy that addresses serious long-term situations. We should feel safe in our own town. Beggars have approached me for money. I have been chased twice by a mentally ill woman. One person got into the Sherman house one night, and I found him sleeping on our sofa in the community room. He also walked into one of my tenants' apartments on Washington Street. One day, that person walked into the back door of City Laundry when it was on East Main Cross, and he punched the manager in the head. We can press charges for trespassing or assault, but we do not know when someone will snap. Recently, I witnessed something horrific. I was walking by my building on East Front Street, and I saw a man with a dog. I was half a block away, but I saw him choking the dog, and then he punched and kicked the dog. He spoke to my tenant, a University of Findlay baseball player, and asked if my tenant would take his dumb dog. I got in my truck, and I followed the man because I could not believe what I was seeing. I watched him go to the middle of my parking lot and slam that dog down on the pavement. The dog was lifeless. As I got closer, the man screamed at me. Then he flopped that medium-sized dog over his shoulder like a big sack of potatoes, and he walked on while I called the police. That seemed to be the meeting point, but the city removed it. Now people have moved to the church wall beside their parking lot. Big cities have this problem. I want to protect our community by nipping it in the bud before it gets out of hand. The loiterers know they are empowered. They know that if they are not reported for trespassing, they can hang around as long as they want. Nothing would prevent them from hanging out on any city boulevard. There are places for these people to go, but they have refused. They need to be in a safe environment just as we all do.
Jill, thanks for sharing all of those details of the experiences, because I know you have a lot of rentals. Question for you. Do you support city mission?
Yes.
So supporting city mission, do you also feel that that's where these folks are coming from during the day?
I think they are, I think they leave the spots to go have a meal at City Mission. And I think
So
they are downtown because City Mission is downtown.
So part of our problem with homelessness is it's the hub for it. So do you really think this ordinance, if it were to pass in the content that it's currently in, do you take your business out of it? Do you feel it's a constitutional ordinance?
I think I agree it cannot be vague.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're kind of on the same page that really The problem is our hub, we are a giving community. We, as Findlay, Hancock County, have always wanted to help people. And sometimes, this is my personal opinion, we help so much, we enable a problem. And city mission has a purpose, but it also gets abused. And that abuse then comes into your street in your neighborhood. And so what we need to be doing is we need to address city mission. It's a tough, hard conversation because we are a giving community. But the more we give, you get the roll-off effect. And I think that's more what you are wanting, because I don't think you want to do an unconstitutional ordinance. And I mean, because we kind of partially agreed. So is that kind of fair?
Other questions for